It helps it light quicker, so just going to take 2 in the bottom there, and then I'm going to go ahead and grab my charcoal. So we've got 2 different types of charcoal. We've got briquettes and lumpwood. So does everybody know how you make charcoal? You basically get hardwood logs, you put it in a furnace or kiln, light it on fire, and then you seal off all the air vents. And depending on the size of the logs, burn it overnight. Sometimes it takes longer, sometimes it takes less. And when you open it up, you're left with this, which is about 98% carbon. There's not actually a whole lot of smoke that comes out of, or smoky flavor that comes out of natural charcoal, because it is just carbon. You know, they use carbon filters for water filtration and things like that. It's a very neutral flavor. And one of the misconceptions is that briquettes aren't properly charcoal, and that is because there's a lot of companies that make cheap, nasty briquettes where they get a little bit of lumpwood and they'll bulk it out with things like sand, and then obviously sand doesn't burn too well, so they then have to put some accelerants in it, usually paraffin-based products, to help it catch light, which then you have to burn all those chemicals off before you can cook on it, at which point your charcoal's halfway through its burn life, and it's not even that much charcoal to begin with because they have sand and other fillers in it. So the Weber ones, really good. They're 100% hardwood that are bound together with potato starch. There's no other nasty chemicals, so you don't have to get them glowing white hot before you can cook on them. And, you know, by all means, Weber are not the only company making quality charcoal. There's lots of them. There's lots of really good local British charcoal that you can get your hands on. But in terms of widely available commercial charcoal, it's pretty competitively priced. I do honestly think Weber's one of the top ones out there. So I'm going to go ahead and fill this up about 3/4 of the way, and I want you to do the same. But with yours, we're going to fill it up to the top, because if you notice, this grill is a fair bit bigger than that one, so it does take a little bit more charcoal to achieve the same temperatures. Yep, so if you want to grab 3 fire lighters. Yep, that's the one. Yep. And then fill it up. Let's go ahead and do it to the top.
Yep.
You can basically just dump it so it doesn't come out anymore. A little bit more. There we go. That's good. Okay. And then just go ahead and light one of the corners on those. And do the same thing that side. And we'll pop this on top. And I'll cheat and use this one. And it'll smoke quite heavily for about 10 minutes, but basically it's ready to turn out when you stop getting this smoke. This is basically all the dust that's kind of burning off. When you use your cheap supermarket charcoals, the disposable ones, they have all that nasty charcoal in it that I was talking about, and it'll smoke like that through the entirety of the cook, which is partially why so many of those disposable grills don't bother putting a lid on them, because if you were to pop a lid down on that cheap charcoal, it tastes like you've been cooking over a bin fire. You don't want that flavor on it. So yeah, it is really worth spending that little bit more money to have some quality charcoal. Would you do me a favor and actually light mine as well? I didn't. Be mindful, this charcoal in here is lit, so it's still warm. And one of the reasons we're starting with lighting this first is because we actually want to give our grates a burn off. One of the most common questions I get is, what's the best way to clean the grill? And especially the cooking grates, you want to get it screaming hot. You're going to kill all the germs with fire, and then we use a wire brush to scrape off anything that's still stuck on there. Yeah, nothing can survive the heat, but you do get like little bits of char still stuck to it. And in terms of the charcoal grills, well, we'll